Hello everyone, this is Madness, back with Milk and Cookies Total War. And before I get into this video, I'd like to just give you a quick heads up regarding future content. Indy is coming back from his business trip this weekend, which means we'll be able to record. I cannot promise that we will be recording stuff, but the patch that we've been waiting for pretty much has dropped. The Celtic tribes, well, not the Celtic tribes pack, but the the update that comes with it, the Tin Isles Mercenary update, balances a lot of the issues in multiplayer and rebalances the the great power penalty in campaign. So with that being done, we can now either do campaign or a multiplayer battle or two if we want to. So while I'm not making promises, I think the chances are pretty good that we'll be doing either of those things, if not even perhaps both. Starting this weekend. Alright, so with that out of the way, I'd like to get to the actual topic, and that actual topic is DLC. Now, with the recent release of the Celtic Tribes Culture Pack and the Blood and Burning DLC, and of course the also fairly recent release of the Longbeard's Culture Pack, and before that the Day 1 DLC called Viking Forefathers, there have been a few, well, I shouldn't say a few, a lot of complaints from the community directed at CA about their DLC policy. And I'd like to comment on that for a bit here. And in order to do that, I'd like to divide the audience into three groups. So the groups are as follows. Number one, you are certainly buying or have already bought all the DLC because you think it's great value. You think it's perfectly justified to ask for $8, 2 weeks in, 4 weeks in, to add 3 new factions to the game. Or perhaps even on launch as a pre-order bonus. Or as a punishment if you don't pre-order, I should say. If you think that's fine, and you already supported it, you'll continue to support it, then I'm not going to change your mind with this video, and you might as well just stop watching. Group number 2, those who are not buying. That could be for several reasons. One could be that you just don't think you have the money to spare, just pay $8 more in addition to what you've already paid up front for the game. Or you could say that you think it's way too early to ask for more money for new content, and that, it makes you feel like you're not playing the complete game, or, you were quote-unquote cheated out of your money. If that's the reason you're not buying, that's also fine. Or you simply think that the price of the DLC is too high, and I'm myself am in that group. I didn't buy the Longbeard's DLC, and I'm not going to buy the Celtic Tribes anytime soon. I'm going to wait for a discount. I haven't really made up my mind yet on the Blood and Burning. But yeah, if you're in that group, then you already agree with me for some reason or another, so I'm not going to address you in this video either. The group I'd like to really talk to here is the remaining group of people who have an issue with either how early the DLC is coming out, or how much it costs, or both, yet who are still considering buying it, or have bought the Longbeard's Culture Pack, despite obviously not being in favor of how it was handled. Indy, I'm looking at you right now. Yeah, those people I'd like to give a bit of a talking to. So, if you're in that last group that I mentioned, I'd like to present to you a few points which hopefully will sway you towards towards joining the second group of people who are not buying the DLC right now. and who are waiting for a discount, or who might decide to boycott it altogether. So, the arguments are as follows. 1. Whatever you subsidize increases. Now, this one's pretty obvious. If you buy the DLC, they'll be inclined to, make more of it. And if they make money off of whatever shady practices they might be implementing, they will be encouraged to provide more of this kind of content and more of these. They will treat it in the same fashion as before, as with they did with Rome 2 as well, that you will be encouraged to pre-order a game which you don't know is good yet, at least on launch, by $8 or €7.50 or whatever the amount of pounds is, punishments for basically not pre-ordering if you still wish to get all the content. Yeah, if you keep supporting that, then they will obviously keep doing it. 2, actions speak louder than words. Also, a pretty important point in my opinion, because people, especially at Sega, and I would say probably at the higher positions in CA as well, they don't really care that much about what people say on the forums or how many dislikes the latest trailer got. They look at the bottom line, and if the bottom line says X is a good idea, then they will keep doing X, regardless of how much you complain and how much hate you direct at the community management team, who I kind of feel sorry for regarding this whole mess, because I've been looking at the comments as well, and I mean, yeah, I've been tempted to give them some crap as well, but I decided not to, because yeah, it's not their fault. But again, what you do with your money is way more important. Put your money where your mouth is, and then they might listen. And 3, hypocrisy weakens your position and reaffirms the first 2 rules. Now, this, again, is specifically directed at people who explicitly said that they disapprove of the current model of how DLC is being distributed and at what price, etc., and who still bought at least one piece after voicing those concerns or that disagreement. You might not like to hear it, but you are a hypocrite about this particular issue, and that may not affect anything else, but as soon as this subject comes up, people will think, okay, you didn't boycott this DLC that you said you thought was either bad value or released too early, or may even have come with some imbalance in multiplayer, which is, another possible argument, especially in games where multiplayer is important, which of course is not really Total War, but, in that case, that would be another reason to boycott. But you can't expect things to change and other people to change their approach to this whole issue in order for things to change according to points 1 and 2. Well, you get to sort of be short-term in your thinking. If you say, I want this now, and you buy it now, even though it's too expensive and it's too early, and then you somehow want things to change, that basically means other people need to do what you didn't do because you said so. So you get to reap the reward of being, austere about this enjoyment in the moment, but you don't actually have to be austere in the moment, which I think is going to let other people believe that you don't really think this is important, and it might actually trigger them to be short-term in their thinking as well. So I think it really weakens your position and the position of anyone who agrees with you on the matter, if you contradict your own expressed opinions with your actions, which I think is a very strong reason not to do that. Because, as I've established, and hopefully convincingly, corporations don't give a damn what you say you want. Corporations want your money. And if you give them your money for whatever it is they do, they will keep doing it. And they will try even harder to get your money. And they will go as far as you will let them. And with every signal you give, either to them or to other consumers, saying that you're willing to give up your power as a consumer and your responsibility as a consumer for, some pleasure in the moment, and that you're willing to forfeit your principles, or at least your proclaimed principles, in order to attain it, I think that's not an option if you want anything to change for the better in the gaming industry or any industry. You must support that which you claim to support. And the same thing is, again, if you think it's legitimately okay and it's good value, fine, nothing I can do about that. But anyone else, please reconsider. And the same thing applies to pre-orders as well. Just don't let them get away with anything you disagree with. If you think the pre-order bonus is so high that it's suspicious that the game might just suck, or it might just have a bad launch like Rome 2 did, don't pre-order. And in that case, I have to say, don't repeat my mistake. Because I pre-ordered Rome 2 and I played it for 200 hours after it came out, and it ruined the experience for me. And that was my personal reason why I'm now on this, well, I wouldn't call it a crusade, but I'm pretty convinced that pre-ordering is a bad idea. And that, the same applies to DLC as well. Just don't let him get away with it. Yeah, well, that about sums up what I think about the matter, I think. And I'll add anything that comes to mind later, if anything does. Otherwise, this will be the end of the video. And yeah, I hope I got someone to reconsider their approach on this. And maybe there was an argument you didn't think of before, and hopefully I didn't come across as just a patronizing, grumpy old man, even though I feel like I might. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.